From billion-dollar Bitcoin buys to Solana flipping giants, and also BNB reaching new heights. Let's get to know the top crypto news of the week that you can't afford to miss. But before we dive in, hello everyone. I hope you're fine and great. I am James and welcome back to Crypto Made Simple, where we break down crypto news, guides, and updates in the most simplest way so anyone can understand. If you love crypto or would love to learn more about crypto, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notifications bell to join this crypto family. Let's get started. Our first headline is Solana flips BNB for the battle of the top 5. In this week, Solana has made headlines by overtaking BNB to become the fifth largest cryptocurrency by market cap. In the first position, we have Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then XRP, then we have Tether USDT, then Solana, and then the sixth position, BNB. Solana's market cap surged past $95 billion, fueled by strong adoption in DeFi and NFTs, and also through heavy institutional inflows. BNB, on the other hand, has been steady but was briefly pushed down to sixth place. This flipping shows how fast competition has been growing among the top cryptos. But the story doesn't end there. Our second headline is BNB bounces back with new ATH and big wins. BNB, even after being flipped, has proved that it's no underdog. Within the same week, BNB reached an all-time high of above $940, reminding the market that Binance ecosystem is still thriving. And the success wasn't just on charts. BNB also flipped the Union Bank of Switzerland UBS in market capitalization. This means that a crypto backed by an exchange now has more value than one of Europe's biggest banks. This is a true symbol of financial shift happening right before our eyes. Our third headline is Metaplanet and strategy keeps buying more Bitcoin. Moving to corporate giants, Metaplanet added more Bitcoins this Monday. Later, they raised $1.4 billion to fund even more Bitcoin purchases. At the same time, strategies continued to buy more Bitcoin. By Monday, their Bitcoin treasury ranked fifth among all S&P 500 companies' corporate treasuries, not by holding dollars or bonds, but by only hodling Bitcoin. This is massive because it shows how Bitcoin is becoming a serious corporate asset. Number 4 is Japan finally cuts Bitcoin taxes. Speaking of Japan, regulators have recently announced a slash in Bitcoin taxes this week. This move will help Metaplanet and other regular investors to buy and hodl Bitcoin. This decision could push Japan to become one of the friendliest Bitcoin hubs in Asia, boosting local adoption and attracting crypto businesses. Number 5 is Doge overtakes a banking giant. While Bitcoin and Ethereum usually dominates the headlines, Dogecoin has quietly overtook Standard Chartered Bank in market capitalization this week. With Doge's value crossing $50 billion, it's now larger than one of UK's biggest banks. It's another clear example of how even meme coins are reshaping the financial landscape. Number 6 is Russia to launch a state-owned Bitcoin bank. In geopolitical news, Russia announced a plan to launch a state-owned Bitcoin and crypto bank. This move comes as Russia looks to bypass Western sanctions and build its own financial rails. A government-backed crypto bank could massively increase crypto adoption across the region while also positioning Bitcoin as part of national financial strategies. Number 7 is new stablecoin from Tether. For years, Tether has been the king for all cryptocurrencies. But this week, its CEO announced a new US-based stablecoin called USAT.
In 2014, Tether created something the world had never seen, the first stablecoin, a digital dollar. For the first time, millions gained fast, borderless access to dollars, not through banks, but through code. USDT changed the way money moves, 24/7, without friction, without permission. Now, we're bringing that same invention home, to the US, to the builders, the creators, the earners, those who've been left behind for far too long. Meet USAT, the stablecoin made for Americans. Fast, stable, and backed one-to-one with liquid and stable reserves. Because Tether didn't just invent stablecoins. We built a system to put dollars in your hands, instantly, and in your control. Tether, powering dollars for the next generation.
Unlike USDT, which is offshore, USAT will operate fully under US regulations. Number 8 is Gemini goes public on Nasdaq. The Winklevoss twins exchange, Gemini, made a historic move this week by going public on Nasdaq. This initial public offering (IPO) signals that companies are no longer outsiders. They are entering mainstream Wall Street. Number 9 is Winklevoss and Bitwise CEOs predict massive Bitcoin upside. Sticking with the twins, Taylor Winklevoss has this week said that Bitcoin is on track to reach $1 million per coin in the future.
We actually looked it up. I think the last time we spoke to you was when we launched Gemini in 2015 in October, so almost 10 years ago today. And I think the price of Bitcoin was $380. And so we've come a long way, but we also think it's still very much the bottom of the first inning because we see Bitcoin trading at $1 million a Bitcoin if it disrupts gold. And we think Bitcoin is gold 2.0. And I think we said the same exact thing to you about 10 years ago today. So we think there's easily a 10x from here, and it's still really early. And I think we'll be sitting here 10 years from now and looking back and saying, wow, today was really early.
And I think few people actually listened back then, so hopefully more people listen today.
His bullish call came alongside Bitwise CEO, who argued that according to current adoption and demand, Bitcoin should be priced at $200,000 per coin today. Together, these predictions fuel the narrative that we are still very early in Bitcoin's growth story. Number 10 is SEC Chair admits that crypto's time has come. In a surprising twist, SEC Chair Paul Atkins publicly said, "We must admit that crypto's time has come."
And today, ladies and gentlemen, we must admit that crypto's time has come. For too long, the SEC has weaponized its investigatory subpoena and enforcement authorities to subvert the crypto industry. That approach was not only ineffective, but injurious. It drove jobs, innovation, and capital overseas. American entrepreneurs bore the brunt and have been forced to spend fortunes on building a legal defense instead of a business.
This is huge because regulators have often been hostile toward crypto. Having a top SEC official openly admit that crypto is here to stay is a signal of changing tides in US regulations. Number 11 is Bitcoin adoption in Africa. On a lighter but powerful note, Pizza Hut and KFC in South Africa started accepting payments in Bitcoin. This might sound small, but everyday usage is what drives real adoption. Imagine this, paying for your lunch using BTC. That's the future slowly unfolding. And to our last and sad news, number 12, Charlie Kirk's crypto legacy. And before we close, news broke out this week that Charlie Kirk has passed away. In the crypto space, Kirk was famously known for advocating for blockchain adoption and supporting Bitcoin as a tool for financial freedom.
What are your thoughts on Bitcoin?
I'm a big fan of Bitcoin.
Should the U.S. do a Bitcoin reserve?
Absolutely, yes. Yes, the United States should have a strategic Bitcoin reserve.
And who should pay for the Bitcoin reserve?
That's a good question. Hopefully, some of the tariff money could potentially do that. The reason why I think we should have a strategic Bitcoin reserve I know you guys had Michael Saylor on your show, and I think he's onto something. There is something called like the mass adoption theory, which is over a period of time, like the English language, US dollar, things just catch on and they're just kind of volitional and there's no stopping it. I think Bitcoin is that. You got to watch out though. Quantum computing could potentially crack cryptography.
But if they do that, then they're also cracking bank accounts.
Right.
And stock trading
yeah,
accounts.
So quantum is the only asterisk on all this. But I think Saylor is onto something very profound, which is that because Bitcoin is a scarce, legitimately scarce resource, that it's probably going to go nowhere but up. So Saylor makes a very provocative argument that Bitcoin could go up 10x over the next 10 years or something like that, which therefore, if we start a Bitcoin strategic reserve, it could like pay for the national debt and like basically cover our losses on the deficit. But I think that I think the United States government should be invested in crypto without a doubt.
I tend to agree with Michael Saylor that it's more likely to go to 1 million than 0.
Yes, I think that's right. And by the way, so you have a problem of the world's richest people. They don't know where to put their money. So there's only so many penthouses in London and Paris that they could buy. There's only so many ranches in Wyoming that they could buy. And so we had this problem. So you create all this money, the money goes upwards to wealth inequality point, to your earlier point. The question is then, well, what do rich people do with money? There's only so many equities they can buy. There's only so many shares in NVIDIA and Apple and Microsoft that they could justify. Well, money needs to find a home, and it's found a home in Bitcoin. And so once it has mass adoption, and literally the wealthiest families on the planet are starting to park serious monies in Bitcoin. And because it's scarce, it's easy to transfer, and it's just a winner. Sometimes there's a mass adoption, and it just rises to the surface, and I think Bitcoin is that.
His contributions will be remembered in the crypto community. This week has proven one thing: crypto is no longer the future, it's the present. The question is, are you keeping up? Tell me in the comments. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video with friends who are curious about crypto. In the meantime, stay safe, stay sharp, and let's keep making crypto simple. Until next time, don't forget to DYOR.